Monday, of course. This is our first class of the week. And how is everybody doing today? All right, looks like you guys are doing pretty good. I am also doing pretty well. Of course, I am tired as usual, but that's okay. How about you guys? How was your weekend? What did you do this past weekend on Saturday and Sunday? Did you do anything interesting? Okay, all right, well, it looks like maybe some of you guys did. My wife and I and 2 kids, we didn't really do anything terribly interesting. Just go for a big long walk on Saturday and Sunday. Did kind of regular things, grocery shopping. We did some laundry. We cleaned up the apartment. So yeah, we didn't actually do anything. I watched a little bit of Netflix, TV when my kids were sleeping, so that was fun for me. Anyhow, for this week, guys, our topic for this week is sales pitch. That is the title of this week's topic and assignment, which we will be talking about later in today's class, right? Now, sales pitch, what does that mean? Now, everybody knows sale, right? If something is on sale, it's being sold at a cheaper price, right? Like if you think like, oh, wow, I don't know, what's a good store? Gucci has a sale. Gucci or Versace or, I don't know, H&M or, what is the Spanish one? Wow, I'm really forgetting things this morning. Or Gap has a sale. That means, of course, their regularly priced items are going to be cheaper. Who knows? Maybe 10%, 20%, 30%, maybe even 50%. 50% doesn't happen very often, but maybe on Black Friday or maybe on Boxing Day in Canada anyhow. So the focus of this week is going to be things like going shopping and maybe selling something. Now, there might be some of you guys out there who work in sales or who have worked in sales, right? Maybe you worked for a store before, like H&M or Gap or an electronics store or a store that sells cell phones, and you have had to sell certain items to people, right? And when you need to sell items to people, you have to use kind of special language, and you want to make that item or that deal sound good, and that's what we're going to be talking a lot about this week. So our grammar focus for today's class anyhow is modals. Some of these modals will be useful to help you guys be able to sell something. Other ones of these modals will just be useful more in general, right? So what we're going to do today is we got to look at some grammar, we're going to look at modals, and then we have to look at some vocabulary. Now, the vocabulary list that we have today, we actually have, I think, 2 different or 3 different vocabulary lists. Is very extensive. There's a lot of vocabulary included. I'm not going to go over every term because I don't believe every term here is vital. I just want to look at the terms with you guys that I think are very useful, and I think that's going to take a long time, honestly. Maybe during the second portion of this class or the last portion of this class, we will look at some vocabulary. In the second class, we will continue to look at vocabulary, and it might even spill into our third class. And anyhow, in our third class, after we finally finish the vocab, we will talk about your writing assignment for this week, and I will try to give you guys a brief model of what your writing assignment could look like. Anyhow, guys, let's start by taking a look at modals. Now, actually, I believe this sheet isn't the first one you have. It's maybe the 3rd or 4th one. But please take a look at the one that says at the top simply modals. This is just a very quick review of modals and how you could use them. So let's take a look together. It says modals are basically or are those helping verbs which express the mode or manner of the actions indicated by the main verbs. They express modes such as ability, possibility, probability, permission, obligation, etc. Now, seeing as this is a high-level class, I think I can assume that many of you watching already know how to use modals and are quite familiar with them. So maybe rather think of this as some good review, right? If you're not familiar with modals, well, then this will be really useful, right? Anyhow, the most commonly used modals are shall, should, will, would, can, could, may, might, must, ought to, used to, need, and dare. Now, I would add just a little thing here, and I would add that modals such as shall, ought to, and no, just shall, ought to, well, also dare. Dare, shall, and ought to are not so commonly used in Canadian and American English, right? Now, back in the United Kingdom, terms like ought to, shall, and dare are more commonly used, and they are used here. We should go over how we use them, but I do want to note that they are not so commonly used here. Okay, guys, so it says modals are used to, and then we have a list of all the different ways that they are used. Okay, so let's start with to ask permission. Now, what does that mean, to ask permission? When you want to ask somebody for permission, you're asking somebody, hey, is it okay if I do this? Can I go to the bathroom? May I use your cell phone? Could I do this? Or something like that, right? I think probably almost on a daily basis, we are asking somebody for permission. Whether that's our mom or dad, like, hey mom, could I eat the last piece of cake? Or, hey dad, could I borrow $20? Or maybe we have to ask our teachers for permission, right? When we're sitting in class. Actually, I don't know if this is the same in every country. No, this must be the same. You know, you're sitting in class and you really have to go to the bathroom, right? You ask the teacher, hey, can I go to the bathroom? Or may I go to the bathroom, right? Or even if you're not younger and not living at home anymore, let's say you're a regular person and you have a job, right? Of course, you have a boss. And a lot of the times when you're talking to your boss, you may have to ask for permission. Hey, boss, may I, well, not go to the bathroom, right? We don't have to ask our boss to go to the bathroom in Canada, but may I borrow the printer? May I use this computer? May I go to this place to purchase something for the office, right? So I think for all of us, regardless of our life situation, whether we're working or not, living at home or not, and stuff like that, we are asking somebody for permission on a daily basis, right? So when we are asking for permission, the three modals we can use are may, can, and could. Now, I should also note here that, of course, we use can as a modal to ask for permission. However, in order to be polite, it is much better to use may, right? May can be substituted instead of can in pretty much all situations when you're asking for permission, and it just makes you sound more polite. So I can't emphasize how important or useful it is to use may instead of can. The can is fine, everybody understands it, but generally speaking, it's better to use may. And like I said last week, I think I made a small joke about it. A lot of teachers in Canada, they like to make this stupid joke, like if you're in class and you say, hey teacher, can I go to the bathroom? The teacher will be like, well, can you? Can you go to the bathroom? Do you need my help? Do you need help to go pee? So when teachers are making that joke, they're trying to emphasize the point that yes, you can use can, but it is better to use may. Anyhow, guys, our examples here are very simple. May I come in, right? Maybe you have to go to this room, right? So you knock on the door, but there's somebody in there, right? You don't want to disturb that person. You're trying to be polite. So you knock on the door, you open it a little bit, and you say, hey, may I come in? Like, is it okay if I come in, right? So may just makes this sound more polite. Of course, you could say, could I come in or can I come in, right? And really, whether it's may I come in, can I come in, or could I come in, the actual meaning of the sentence doesn't really change, right? They all have the same meaning. However, if you use may, it just sounds more polite, more proper. Next example here is, could I use your pen, please, right? And that's totally fine. But instead of could, you could use can, and you could use may, right? May I use your pen, please? Can I use your pen, please, right? But in order of kind of, I don't know, properness and politeness, can is at the bottom, could is in the middle, and may is the most polite term you could use in order to ask for permission. All right, now thinking about this more, maybe I could provide you guys with some more examples. So to ask for permission. Now let's think, in our daily lives, what are we most often asking permission for? Well, of course, you know, if you are in school, if you're a younger person, you are probably most often asking permission for going to the bathroom. So, of course, here's the most popular example. May I go to the bathroom? And like I said before, if we're using may, we are making ourselves sound very polite, right? So we can start by saying, may I yada yada yada, whenever we are asking for permission. May I go to the bathroom? May I, I don't know, maybe you're at a party, right? You're at a house party in Canada, which is kind of a common occurrence, right? When you're in your teenage years or in your 20s or something. May I grab a beer? Which basically just means take a beer, right? But we usually say grab a beer. May I eat some of this pizza? Etc., etc. Now again, instead of may, you could substitute in could or can. But I just really want to emphasize that using may makes you sound more polite, right? If you don't want to use may, maybe use could, and that's okay. If you don't want to use could, use can. But if you use can, it just doesn't sound as proper, and then sometimes people will make fun of you. Because if you say, hey, can I grab a beer? Somebody might say, well, can you? Do you have the physical ability to grab a beer? Do you need my help, right? Even though it's okay. Anyhow, guys, so asking for permission, may, can, could. But I highly recommend try get used to using may when asking for permission. It's just a good rule to follow because it makes you sound more polite. Okay, let's take a look at make a request. Okay, so if you want to make a request, you want to ask for something, right? When you're making a request, you can use can and could, and that's it. So it's not too hard. Now, an example here is, could you please give me the doctor's telephone number, right? Now, a lot of people here might be confused between the difference between ask for permission and make a request. If you're asking for permission, of course, you're asking if you can do this thing. Is this thing possible, right? May I go to the bathroom? May I eat some of your pizza or whatever, right? When you are making a request, you are specifically asking somebody to do something, right? You're not asking if you have the ability to do something. You're asking them to do something maybe for you, right? So that is the difference here. This one is just asking if this thing is possible for you, and making a request is asking, could you do something for me? So when you're making a request using modal verbs, you're only going to be using can or could. So the example here is fine. Could you please give me the doctor's telephone number? Now, in both cases here, we are forming a question, of course, right? So you're going to be starting this either with can or could. Could or can. So could you please give me, so usually a lot of these ones here will say could you, could he, could she, but anyhow, could you, I don't know, what do we usually ask for in our daily lives? What would be a good example? What is a request that we make on a daily basis? Could you, maybe you ask your, okay. So maybe you're in class and recently you submitted a paper, like, well, actually, let's say not recently. You submitted a final assignment 2 weeks ago, right? And you still haven't gotten your mark. What is your teacher doing, right? I guess your teacher's kind of lazy. Well, actually, we don't know that, but let's just imagine your teacher is kind of lazy or they're busy. They just didn't have time to mark your final assignment. What is going on? But so you want to request your teacher, hey, could you please mark that when you have the time, right? So could or can you mark my final assignment? And then you really want to emphasize that you would prefer if this person did it, sooner rather than later. So we're going to add here ASAP, right? As soon as possible. Okay, and maybe your teacher says like, well, I don't know, I'm really busy these days, blah, 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 but I'll try my best. You can expect your mark in the next 24 to 48 hours. Anyhow, let's see what else we could make here. So could or can you do something? Let's make another one. What's another request we make? Okay, obviously this one is not a request we're making on a daily basis, but let's say, you're moving into a new apartment, right? You're holding on to this really big, heavy box full of, I don't know, electronics or something. So you got to be careful. You don't want to drop this box, right? And you're not going to be able to open the door by yourself, but there's somebody there, right? So you want to request them to open the door. Could or can you open the door for me, please? Right? And I should have put a question mark there, but anyhow. So yeah, by adding please, of course, you're just making it more polite. Anyhow, guys, making a request, this is not complicated. I know that it can be a little bit confusing between making a request and asking for permission, but it is different. Okay, let's take a look at the next one, guys. To express a possibility. Something could be possible. If you're going to express possibility in English using modals, you're going to be using may, might, or again, could. So maybe could is kind of complicated because it can be used in so many different circumstances. So to express a possibility. Okay, so our example here is it might rain during the night, right? This is possible. This could happen. We don't know if it's going to happen 100%, but it might, right? A lot of the times when we're talking about the weather and what the weather could be like in the future, we will say might. It might be sunny tomorrow, right? And we're not talking about Sunny, my good Korean friend, right? Sun-hee. Ooh, bad joke. Anyhow, when you're expressing possibility, generally I think it's good to stick to using might. And anyhow, when you're talking about the weather, it might be sunny tomorrow, it might be raining tomorrow, it might be snowy tomorrow, it might be snowy next week, it might be really cold this winter, right? But what are some other possibilities? Of course, because of the coronavirus, the economy is already bad, right? But I was reading an article last Friday, I believe, that said the stock market is going to take another big dip, right? And a dip would mean a massive decrease. So let's write that down. The stock market. Is that boring? I think it's interesting, but anyhow. Stock market might dip again this fall. That was the prediction that the person was making anyhow. What else? Another prediction. Using a possibility. Of course, it could it might, it may be a bad idea, right? So a lot of the times when you're talking with your friends and your friend is maybe thinking about some kind of business plan that they have, like, hey, I'm going to open up this restaurant selling beaver tails, right? Beaver tails are kind of a popular dessert item in Canada. It's just a pastry that looks like a beaver tail. Actually, it's really, really good. Don't worry, it's not an actual beaver tail. That would probably be really disgusting. But anyhow, and your friend's like, yeah, I'm going to open up this beaver tail dessert restaurant on Granville Street. I'm going to make so much money and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, well, you know, maybe you want to rethink that because right now the coronavirus is happening and you might just lose a lot of money, right? You might lose a lot of money. And it could be a bad idea. It might be a bad idea. It may be a bad idea. Maybe you want to rethink this, right? Anyhow, so yeah, if you want to express a possibility, could, might, and may. But let's move on to giving advice or suggestions. And of course, this is something that we do on a daily basis as well, right? Now, this one is kind of easier because the only modal you're going to be using here is should in order to give advice, right? Directly to somebody. So, give advice or a suggestion. Okie dokie. So, what do we got here? Using should. And our example here is you should wear a helmet while riding your motorbike. Well, of course, because you don't want to die, you should wear a helmet when you're on a motorbike. But anyhow, what are some other common pieces of advice? Now, this is kind of, you know, you should wear a helmet while wearing a motorbike. It's just kind of like general advice, right? And we do that a lot in our lives, maybe almost on a daily basis. We make some kind of general statement of advice, right? Or suggestion, anyhow. You should. Now, this you doesn't always have to be like you personally, right? Could be you, people in general. But anyhow, you should, what should you do? Now, for a lot of people who are in high school, a common piece of advice or suggestion that many teachers and many parents make to their kids is you should study hard so that you can go to a good university, right? And of course, that is a good piece of advice, right? You should study hard so that you can go to a good university. Or, let's think of some other ones. You should what? You should, of course, right now, because of coronavirus, wash your hands frequently. All right. Now, of course, we could use should in the negative form. You shouldn't do something, right? So let's think of one quick negative example. You shouldn't. What should you not do? What is a good piece of general advice using shouldn't? You shouldn't eat too many carbs. And of course, carbs means carbohydrates. And those are that one food group, of course, rice, bread, potatoes, sorghum, things like that, right? Anyhow, you shouldn't eat too many carbs or you will gain too much weight, and losing weight is a lot harder than gaining weight. Gaining weight is kind of fun. Well, it's not fun, but, well, yeah, kind of enjoyable, right? Losing weight is a big pain in the neck, right? Anyhow, guys, so yeah, if you're going to give advice or a suggestion, you're just going to use should. And that one's pretty easy to keep in mind. Anyhow, guys, so here are some extra examples, but let me erase this off the board because we're going to continue on further down the list here. Okay, so erasing this stuff here. You should have copied what I had written. You shouldn't drink alcohol in excess. You should hang out with your friends on the weekend in order to take a break. Yada, 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 yada. Okay, and this board eraser is working a lot better. Okay, so moving on, guys. After giving advice or making suggestions, we have to express necessity or to express compulsion. Compulsion, like a feeling from your body that you need to do something. So when you're expressing necessity or compulsion, you're going to be using must or have to, right? So I'm just going to write down, whoops, that's a little bit too high. Okay, right here, express necessity, something that you need to do or must be done. Anyhow, our examples here are, we must slow down while driving in front of a school. This is something you have to do, right? You must do that because you don't want to hit a child, right? And also it's just illegal anyway. Or I have to submit my project by tomorrow. Now, in North American English, in Canada and the United States, we use have to much more than we use must, right? There is kind of a slight difference between using have to and using must. There's a slight difference in the nuance, right? Usually when you're using have to, I have to do this, it's because of some kind of regulation, some kind of rule. You must do this thing because of this, right? Whereas when you are using must, yes, it might be a rule that you have to follow and therefore you should not do this. But a lot of the times must is more connected to morality and ethics, right? Maybe something is not exactly illegal according to the law, but you must not do that because it is morally bad, right? Now, let's think of some examples here. Yeah, I have to submit my project tomorrow. I have to. What do I have to do? Oh, okay, I have to. What do I gotta do? What do I gotta do? I have to. Okay, well, this is true. I have to see a dentist. Bum, bum, bum. This is something I have to do. When is it? 2 weeks from now? Something like that. It was hard to make a dental appointment recently because of COVID-19. Anyhow, I have to see a dentist. Or, let's use an example using must. I must take good care of my daughters. Now, of course, duh, I'm a father. This is just kind of, obvious, but I'm using must here instead of have to because in this case, I think must is a better choice because it is what we would call a moral imperative. I have to do this from a moral standpoint, right? You could say I have to, but there's no rule or regulation saying, you have to be a good parent. Of course, we want everybody to be. It's more connected to morality. I must take good care of my daughters. That is my responsibility. And if I don't do that, I am a terrible person, right? Anyhow, let's move on to the next one, guys. We have to express prohibition. Something is prohibited. Something cannot be done, all right? When you're expressing prohibition, we often use must not or mustn't. Mustn't, again, we don't express this too often that something is prohibited and we shouldn't do it, right? But when we do, we will use things like must not, mustn't. Express prohibition. So we had, you must not talk loudly in the library. This is something you shouldn't do. It's maybe not terribly illegal, but morality-wise, you don't want to bother other people, so you must not do that, right? Or you mustn't. What must you not? You mustn't do illegal drugs, right? You can't do that. That's bad for you. Anyhow, so to express prohibition, you can use must not. Moving on to expressing promises or intentions. Expressing promises or intentions. Now, of course, intentions are things you intend to do. If you intend to do something, you're like, this is my plan, I'm gonna do this thing, right? I intend to go to Disneyland. That's my plan, I'm going to Disneyland, great, right? Now, if you want to express a promise or intention, you'll use, of course, just will, which is very simple because you're already used to using will. And, or you could use shall. But shall, like I said before, is much more commonly used in British English, in the United Kingdom, Australia, maybe New Zealand, South Africa, or Ireland. Not so much in North American English, but you can use it. It's okay. I will mail you my address, right? This is something you're going to do. We are all familiar with how to use will, right? I will, I don't know, I will make dinner tonight. So that means I'm going to be eating a bad meal. Ha ha ha, just kidding, I'm an okay cook. Not great, but okay. Yeah, I will do something, or, of course, I shall do something. I shall see you tomorrow. But like I said before, shall is just not commonly used here. It's okay to use, but I think a lot of the times when people are using shall here, it's kind of like used in a sarcastic way or to pretend that we are being British or just pretend that we are being super polite. Anyhow, guys, last one we have here on our list is to express a wish, something that we really hope happens, right? And we use may when we're expressing a wish. May you have a long life, right? When we're wishing somebody well, we often start with may. May you have good health, right? I'm wishing this person good health, right? Or, may you have good fortune. So in either case here, you're wishing this person something, good health or good fortune. Now, instead of saying it like this, of course, you don't have to say it like this. A lot of people, instead of this, they'll say, I wish you something. I wish you good fortune. I wish you good health. I wish you, I don't know, get 100% on your test, right? But I wish you all the luck in the world. I hope that you have good luck, right? Okay, guys, now we've gone over this list here and I gave you extra examples, so it should be fairly clear for you. I know that modals are used in a variety of different ways and it can get kind of confusing, but there are some other sheets here that you guys can take a look at as a quick reference to do maybe kind of quick review. So let's take a quick look, guys. If you look at, I think this is the second one, maybe it's the third one, you have a list of modal verbs here. You've got type, modal verbs, and examples, right? So we got our types here: ability, permission, advice, obligation, possibility, right? So this is kind of briefly covering what we just talked about. It's a little bit more succinct. It's more to the point, it's more direct, and it's shorter, so it's easier to read over. And you've got what verbs you can use for each type, and you have some examples. So if you have time later, check this one out. Pretty good and handy, useful list. Anyhow, besides that, you also have another one here that is focusing on modals of ability. So again, you have the modal, its usage, and then you have different tenses for them: the present, the past, the future, and you have examples. So this is also pretty useful stuff. But what I want to do, guys, is I kind of want to get off of this because we have a huge list of vocab today. I'm supposed to be looking at some of the vocab with you right now. So let me erase this here. And we are going to move on to, I think it's called, the top 20 print media adjectives in order of efficacy, or in order of how commonly they are used, might be a better way to put it. Okie dokie, guys. So, yeah, please take a look at this list here. There are, wow, way too many here. But, yeah, the top 20 print media adjectives in order of efficacy. Now, you might be confused here. You might be thinking like, well, Alan, you skipped over worksheet 8. And that's true. I did skip over it. Now, worksheet 8 is an exercise where you have to use modals. This is good, but I think if I went over this with you guys, it would be very boring, very dry, and this is something that you should maybe check out in your free time. Try to fill these in, see if you get the correct answer. I don't think that there is a answer sheet here, but this is still good practice, so check this out if you do have time. Anyhow, guys, taking a look at the top 20 print media adjectives in order of efficacy or in order of how they're used. Now, like I said, this week you're focused on sales and trying to sell something to somebody or some group of people, right? And these are adjectives that maybe salespeople will bring up and that they will use when they're trying to sell something. So let's take a look at our first list here. We have adjectives like new, good, better, best. This is a best seller. It's a very common term. If you're going on Amazon or, I don't know, what are some of the other big ones? Amazon or eBay or Rakuten or whatever local version you guys have on an online store in your country, you might see a list of best sellers, things that have sold more than other things, right? It's a best seller, or it is the best selling product we have ever had, right? Things like free, fresh, delicious, full or fully, sure, clean, wonderful, special, crisp. Crisp, that's a tough one, all right? Oh, hi, 365NNN. Nice to meet you. Anyhow, hope you're enjoying the class. Yeah, easy, bright, extra, safe, and rich. Now, all these adjectives here, you guys already know the meaning of. They're pretty simple, but these are adjectives that are commonly used when somebody is trying to sell something. Now, beneath that it says other premium adjectives. Premium. What does premium mean, right? Premium means kind of like best of the best, like a premium product is the best product. Usually premium also means kind of expensive, right? Like, what is a premium luxury car or premium luxury brand car? That would be things like, I don't know, is Tesla? Yeah, kind of, but that would be, you know, Mercedes and BMW and Lexus and Bentley and things like that, or cars like that. Anyhow, premium itself is just a good adjective. So we got easy, easiest, exclusive. Ooh, exclusive. If somebody says this product is exclusive, it means most likely it's very expensive, it's very special, and not many people have this product, right? Somebody says, wow, this is a very exclusive new brand of shoes. That doesn't mean that everybody has access to it. Only some people have it. Ooh. Anyhow, so exclusive, fast, guaranteed. What does it mean if something is guaranteed, right? If something is guaranteed, that means, how can you say this? Yeah, guaranteed is actually a little bit harder than I thought originally. Now, if I say, I guarantee you that I will do something, I'm saying to you, I make a promise to you, I will do this, right? If we say this product is guaranteed by this company, means the company stands by that product and they're saying this product is good, it will do what we say, right? Anyhow, after that, learn more. Limited. Okay. So when people are trying to sell a product, they often say there are limited quantities of this product, right? It is a limited product. We are not mass producing this product. There are not so many of these, right? So, woo, it's special. Again, if something is very limited, it's kind of similar to it being exclusive. We're not making this for everybody. We're just making a few. Anyhow, maybe it's like that, brand of clothing. I think it's called Supreme. And whenever I hear Supreme, I always think about pizza. But anyhow, Supreme, I believe they don't exactly mass produce a lot of shirts or pants or whatever Supreme makes, right? They keep the supply limited because they want the product to be kind of exclusive, so that if you have that Supreme hat or a Supreme sweatshirt or whatever it is, many other people will not have that. So you can feel like, wow, good for me, this is exclusive. But besides that, I think Supreme is kind of a stupid product. But good for them, they make a lot of money, I guess. Anyhow, after that, proven. Okay, proven, this is often used when a company is trying to sell maybe something related to the medical market, right? Maybe vitamins or some kind of cream or sunscreen or something. And this product has been proven by proof or by evidence to do something good, right? So it has been proven that consuming vitamin C will help you fight off disease, right? So you should take vitamin C supplements because that has been proven. There is proof, there is evidence that scientifically this thing will help you, right? Simple, tested. This product has been tested. It's been tested by doctors. It's been tested by scientists in order to make a product look more legitimate. Companies will often have a doctor or scientist test their product, right, to prove that it is useful. So when they're advertising that product, they might say, this product has been tested by thousands of doctors, right? And that will make the product look better. You'll think like, oh, okay, well, that's good. Doctors have tested this product, and they have proven that it is helpful. All right, I'm convinced. I want to buy this product. And lastly, we have unique. Of course, a lot of companies like to describe their products as being unique. This product is unique. It's not the same as other products. This one is special. Really? Anyhow, guys, we have a large list of other terms you can use as well, other adjectives that have stood the test of time. And this is such an extensive list. I think if I went over everything here, it would take like 2 hours. We have terms like 100%, affordable. Affordable is a good one. It means you can afford it, you can pay for it. All new, amazing, approved, automatic, bargain price. If something is a bargain or if it's at a bargain price, it is cheap. That's awesome. Caring, certified. This product is certified by the American FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. So this vitamin or whatever it is great, right? Challenging, classic, colossal, compact, complete, confident, convenient, Okay, all right, guys, the list is too extensive for me to go over in detail. When you have time, please check this list out in more detail later on. It is really good. And also, I forgot about the backside here, to be honest. If you guys take a quick look at the backside here, we have the top 20 print media verbs in order of efficacy. And those are verbs like make, get, give, have, see, buy, come, go, know, keep, look, need, love, use, feel, like, choose, take, start, taste, right? So these verbs are often used when companies are trying to sell something to you, especially love. You're going to love this product. You will love our new couch. You will love this new car, etc., etc. Other good verbs that you can use, premium verbs when you're trying to sell something, are things like be, click, compare, discover, right? Discover a whole new world when you buy a BMW, right? A world of luxury, premium luxury. Wow, look at this BMW. Look at the inside and this leather seat. Wow, so soft and so nice. Anyhow, so discover is, kind of often used in a lot of travel advertisements, right? Discover a new world when you go on a cruise around the Caribbean, right? Or discover a new culture when you go to Indonesia, right? Or discover the best art in the world when you go to Paris, something like that. Don't miss out. A lot of companies, they will try to pressure you into buying the product by saying, It's a limited time offer. It's in limited supply. Don't miss out, right? Don't miss out. Take the opportunity to buy this now, right? You should get it, because if you don't get it now, you won't ever get it, so don't miss out. Then we have terms like ends, find, grow, increase, again, love, you'll love this product, etc. Start here. A lot of people or a lot of companies use this when they're trying to sell something as well, to say, start here or start now with our new offer of $26.95 per day. Save, try, or try it. Now, we have this other extensive list of verbs that have also stood the test of time that could also be commonly used when selling a product. We have something like act now. This is often used in TV advertisements for a product, right? Maybe like really late at night when you're watching TV and you're watching somebody try to sell something. They'll say, act now, pick up the phone now, order yours today while limited supplies remain, right? You got to do it now, so you got to act now. Be first to qualify. Be the first person to qualify for our new product. Congratulations. Dare and dare you. I dare you to try this product because this product will change your life. Deliver, donate, eliminate. This new product will eliminate the competition. We will destroy the competition because our product is better. To exceed is to be better or to go beyond some kind of expectation, right? This product will exceed your expectations. It will exceed everything you have ever believed in. Explain, get ahead, get something extra. A lot of products that are being sold on TV, again, late at night, they'll always offer you some kind of bonus. If you order now, you'll also get this for a low cost of $5, right? We're helping people like you. Hurry, improve, introducing, invest. Open 24 hours a day. Order now, order today, pay later. Yeah, you don't have to pay now. You can pay later and go into debt, right? Profit. Read all about this on our website. Reveal, succeed, take advantage of, unlock, win. A lot of products that are designed to improve your health or designed to improve your body, they'll say something like, unlock your true potential with our product. You can only be a real man if you use these steroids, right? Or something like that. Anyhow, guys, I'm going to be quiet, though, because we have run out of time. So in our second class, we are going to delve into more vocabulary, right? Because we have such a big list. But these terms in the next one, they're going to be a little bit more interesting. We'll look at them in more detail. So let's take a 10-minute break, and when we come back, more vocab. this on? Okay. Yeah, I think the mic is on. Okay, so anyhow, yeah, we're going to be looking at 15 sales/business related phrasal verbs. After this, we also have another list of vocab related to shopping expressions and phrases. Okay, so let's jump into this, guys. So the first one we have here is cold call. So remember, these are phrasal verbs. So to cold call somebody. I'm going to cold call Microsoft. I'm going to cold call somebody's business. Now, actually, to cold call somebody is related to either making sales or to call a company when you're looking for a job. So to cold call someone is when you call or visit a company without arranging a call or meeting first when you're trying to sell them something, right? And that something that you're trying to sell could be a product, but it could be you're also trying to sell yourself as a potential employee. The example we have here is I cold called Microsoft last week and now I got a job interview for next week. Score. Yeah, awesome. Good for you. So this is something that businessmen often do. But again, if you're looking for a job and you're having a tough time, maybe you might want to try cold calling a business that you're interested in working for, right? So anyhow, cold call is an interesting one. I don't want to look at this in too much detail because I don't commonly use this, and it's kind of used in a very specific way. So it's a good term, but not so commonly used. So let's look at number 2, because number 2 is very commonly used. It is sort out. Let's sort this out. I'm going to sort out this problem. To sort out something means to organize or to fix something, right? So maybe your room is really messy and you're thinking, oh geez, I really need to tidy up my room, make it look better, organize it in a better way. You could say, I'm going to sort out my room. Or recently, your life has not been going very well. You feel like your life is a mess. So you say, I'm going to sort out my life. So actually, that is a good example. Oh yeah, don't write too high up on the board. So maybe, and this is related to number 2, you say, I feel like my life is a mess right now. Period. I am going to sort out my life. So I'm going to organize and tidy up my life. The example we have here given is let's get this problem sorted out before it gets any worse. This is also another common statement using sort out. Let's get this problem sorted out before it gets worse. We always want to organize or fix a problem before it becomes a bigger problem. Okay guys, so number 2, sort out, is quite commonly used. If your life is in trouble right now, I recommend sorting it out. Let's take a look at number 3. Number 3, wow, really commonly used, to run out of something. Now, it's a little bit different depending on what tense you use this in, right? If you say in the present continuous tense, I am running out of peanut butter. That means you do not have very much peanut butter left. You have a little bit left, but you're almost out of it, right? Oh, I'm running out of milk. We should buy milk later today, right? But if you use this in the past tense, if you say, I ran out of time, it means the amount of time you had is completely depleted. You don't have any extra time left. I ran out of money. I don't have any money, right? I'm running out of money. I still have some money, but very little left. So yeah, it just means to run out of something means something is out of stock or almost out of stock. You don't have any more of this item. Oh no, I'm running out of money and I have to pay rent next week. I'm going to be in a world of pain if I can't come up with the money. That's a good example. If you're running out of money and you can't pay rent next week, you're going to be in a lot of trouble, right? You're going to be in a world of pain. A world of pain means a very painful world where you're going to feel really bad, right? So another good example here, because run out is so commonly used. So I am running out of whatever, something, right? I'm running out of milk, out of sugar, out of eggs, out of yada yada. Most often used to talk about money or time though, right? But just remember, if you say, I ran out of something, this means you have no more of that item, 0%. If you've got this, you've got a little bit, you've got 5%, right? But you will soon be out of it. Okay, so guys, run out of something, really commonly used, really good. Number 4, close down. If something closes down, if a business closes down, it stops operation, basically it dies, right? So yeah, to close down means to stop operating. Dude, I can't believe that place closed down. It is so sad. They had the best Nacho Supreme pizza that I have ever had, right? So I guess that pizza place, it died. It closed down, right? Now, because of the coronavirus, many businesses in Vancouver have recently passed away or died, right, and closed down. So maybe I could put that in an example. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, many businesses have closed down. So many businesses have died. Okay, so close down, also pretty commonly used. It's just used to describe a business that's died. So it is fairly commonly used if you like talking about business in places that have passed away, right? Anyhow, next one here is to call back. Call back is another very useful phrasal verb, and it has a simple meaning. Somebody calls you, you are not able to pick up the phone, so you call them back. You return the call, right? So yeah, just to return a phone call, to call someone later because you're too busy or simply unable to talk to them on the phone. Could you call me back around 10? I'm just a bit busy right now, right? Now, I often tell people, like if I cannot pick up the phone at the time, I usually say, sorry, I am too busy right now. Could I call you back in, I don't know, 30 minutes? That's just something that I usually say. Anyhow, guys, so call back, also really useful. Let's take a look at number 6, to drop in. Drop in or drop by, or we also say pop by, right? But drop in just means to make an unexpected visit, right? So I'm going to drop in at my friend's house, and then I'm going to go to the library, right? The example we have here is John dropped in last night and told me all about what is going on with that thingamajiggy, right? Thingamajiggy is also a funny word. Thingamajiggy just is another word for thing, for something, right? Usually we use thingamajiggy when we can't remember how to refer to that item, right? If there's an electronic device and I don't exactly know what it does, I would just call it a thingamajiggy. Hey, what does that thingamajiggy do? Oh, that thingamajiggy? That thingamajiggy is something that does that other thing. Oh, that's a cool thingamajiggy. Thingamajiggy. It sounds kind of fun too. Anyhow, number 6. So to drop in. Now, for me, for example, I'm scheduled to work today and I'm scheduled to work later this week. But I'm not scheduled to work actually tomorrow. But I could say I might drop in or drop by. I use drop by more than I use drop in. I might drop in or drop by tomorrow. So I might come to work unexpectedly, right? Nobody's really expecting me to come, but I might drop in tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Okay. Anyhow, we'll move on to number 7, guys. We have to follow up. To follow up is also a pretty useful phrasal verb. To follow up on something means that like you were not able to resolve this thing, or this problem or thing did not get finished. So if you follow up on it, it means you will continue to try to do this thing. So it says to either call, visit, or email someone again in order to reconfirm something, right? So the example we have here is, I met Billy and Jean yesterday to discuss what we might do about that particle accelerator. What? I guess they're scientists. I better follow up with them today to make sure of what the plan is. Okay, so this is a good example because we often say that when maybe we're having a phone call with somebody and we're talking about dealing with a problem, but we can't come to a conclusion right now. So we might say, hey, let's call each other tomorrow and follow up on this problem, right? So I might say, let me call you tomorrow so that we can follow up on this, right? And this may be some kind of problem or issue. Anyhow, guys, let's move on. So switch to the next page or the back side. Next one is to note down. Actually, I'm not going to make an example of this. To note down is kind of not terribly useful, but it's not bad. I don't use it so much, but to note something down just means to make a note of something. Like you write something down so that you don't forget it, right? The example here we have is, you want 2 pounds of Alaskan high-quality beef tails. Sure, just let me note that down. That is a really weird example. Or maybe my boss tells me something and I don't want to forget. Like, oh, okay, boss, so you want me to place an advertisement looking for, yada yada. Okay, let me note that down. Let me make a note of that, right? So it is not bad, but I don't use it so much, to be honest. Okay, number 9, break into. Now, break into can have 2 kind of different meanings. The first one is to enter something, usually with force or with effort. I guess I shouldn't say it has 2 different meanings, but it can be used in 2 different ways, in a business sense and in a criminal sense. Because break into, like when I hear this phrasal verb, what I imagine is that there's a thief, and then there's, let's say, like a window, right? And the thief wants to break the window, enter the house, and steal stuff, right? So he breaks into the house, right? He forcefully enters. But this can also be used in a business sense. When a business wants to get, let's say, into a different market, right, and sell their product, they want to break into that market and they want to sell their product. So the example we have here is, if we don't break into the Brazilian market, someone else will. Can you guys come up with any ideas? So this sounds like these people are having some kind of business meeting and they want to sell their product in the Brazilian market. So they need to break in to that market, right? What would be a good one? I'm trying to think of some kind of business or item that has recently broken into the market. Well, like in Vancouver, maybe 10 years ago or even longer, ramen restaurants really broke into the local restaurant industry here in Vancouver. Now there are so many ramen restaurants, for example, right? Or I heard recently that Tesla Motors, Tesla cars, the owner, Elon Musk, he wants to really break into the Chinese market. And that's why he's building a factory in China now. So anyhow, break into is not bad. Most often when I see the term break into or I hear it, it's kind of used to report about something bad, usually something criminal, like a criminal breaking into a window and stealing stuff from a store or from a house. But it can be used in a business sense as well. Let's take a look at number 10, to find out. Okay, well, to find out is an extremely commonly used phrasal verb. To find out just means to discover or find information about something or someone. This is often used in the past tense form, like you already found some information on this person, right? It says, for example, yesterday I found out that if a polar bear and a grizzly bear mix, they give birth to a pizzly bear. Blew my mind, bro. It just blew my mind. That's such a weird example, but kind of funny. So I guess this guy found out that if a polar bear and a grizzly bear, if they mix, if they mate, the resulting bear is called a pizzly bear. This actually happens in Canada too. Of course, polar bears live very far north in Canada, up in the Arctic, right? Canada has a lot of Arctic territory, actually. And we also have a lot of grizzly bears in Canada, also in the north of Canada, of course, right? But I think recently, because of problems with a lack of food, some polar bears are moving further south and they're encountering grizzly bears. And sometimes, of course, they fight and kill each other, but other times, of course, maybe they love each other, right? And they mate and they give birth to what is known as, I guess, a pizzly bear. So actually, I just found that out. That's really interesting. But yeah, if you find some new information on somebody or something, you could say, I found out something, right? So you just say, I found out something. I found out, what is something I found out recently? Okay, well, I found out that, and usually we'll use that as our preposition. I found out that if you mix vodka with OJ, and of course OJ means orange juice, it is quite delicious. And actually, I think vodka and orange juice, I think that's just a screwdriver, but I'm not really up to date on cocktails and mixed drinks. But anyhow, yeah, I found out, this is not true, I found this out a long time ago, actually in high school. Yeah, not a good idea. But anyhow, I found out that if you mix vodka with OJ, it's quite delicious. I discovered this. This is new information for me, right? But this can be used with anything new you find out or you figure out, right? So anyhow, find out, really commonly used, really, really good. Number 11, cut down, also really, really good. So to cut down, you just have to imagine somebody cutting something and basically reducing something. That's what cut down is all about. To cut down on something means to reduce the amount of something that you are consuming or using, right? So cut down is often used when we're talking about like things like going on a diet or trying to reduce the amount of money that you spend or something like that. Yeah, so cut down just means to reduce something or make something less. So, I really need to cut down on the amount of sugar that I consume on a daily basis. Good example. I've been really packing on the pounds recently, so perhaps this will help me lose weight. Okay, that is a good example. A lot of people who want to lose weight will say, I need to cut down on sugar, carbohydrates, consuming coffee, or whatever it is, right? Now my example here is, let's say I need to cut down on the amount of coffee that I drink because I need to save money, right? Maybe in this example, the person is just spending too much money on coffee, right? Maybe they're having 3 or 4 coffees a day from Starbucks. Ooh, that adds up. That's like 10 bucks a day. What are you doing spending $10 a day on coffee? OMG, right? So anyhow, yeah, I need to cut down on the amount of coffee that I consume or I drink because I need to save money and maybe also lose weight, right? Number 12 though. So we got cut down means reduce. Now we have cut out, right? To cut something out means to completely stop, right? To stop or to completely remove something. We have to cut out the unnecessary spending because we are literally bleeding money every single day. Yikes, sounds bad. Sounds like this business is in trouble. But maybe a more regular way I could use this is, now sometimes people just say like, hey, cut it out. Hey, cut it out, right? This case actually is, the meaning is kind of different. Hey, cut it out is just like, hey, stop it. Stop doing what you're doing. Maybe somebody is being too loud or aggressive. So their friend, their brother, their sister, whoever, they say, hey, cut it out. Like, stop it, right? What are you doing? Cut it out. That's not cool, man. End it, right? But another way we would just use this is, I need to I need to cut out carbs, right? I gotta stop consuming all carbs, right? Because I need to go on a radical new diet. I'm gonna cut out carbs. Anyhow, guys, so cut out is good and cut down is good. I more often use cut down because we're more likely to reduce something than we are to completely stop it. Okay, number 13 is to look into. So when you imagine look into, just imagine somebody's like looking into something, right? To look into something just means to look something up or to find details about something. So if you want to do some research, you're going to say like, maybe you want to know more about Canada's first Prime Minister, right? Who's that? I can't remember. Well, actually, his name is John A. Macdonald. And maybe you're interested in learning about Canadian history. You're like, okay, I'm going to look into John A. Macdonald, right? I'm going to do some research on him, find out who this person was, right? The example we have here is, I'm going to take a good look into the link between high blood pressure and cheese consumption, right? Maybe people with high blood pressure consume too much cheese. So this person is going to look into that connection, right? But for me, I just use this when I'm going to do some kind of research. I find something that I'm kind of interested in, and then I look at the Wikipedia article or whatever, and I look into this person or this thing, right? So I would say something like, I'm going to look into, who am I going to look into? Abraham Lincoln, right? Because suddenly I'm interested in American history in the 1800s, so I'm going to look into him. I'm going to do some research on that guy. Anyhow, number 14, we got deal with, very commonly used as well. To deal with something just means to handle something or to work on something. I'm going to deal with, we often use this when we're talking about a problem. You've got a problem, you've got to deal with it. You've got to do something, right? You've got to handle it. The Canadian government really needs to deal with that pipeline. So not so much recently, but more last year, 2 years ago, there was a proposal to make a pipeline, and then there was a lot of protests, and people were for it and against it, and the government needed to deal with it. They had to come up with some kind of solution, right? Everybody has problems in their lives, so a general statement could just be like, you know, I need to deal with my issues or my problems. Everybody needs to deal with their issues or their problems. All right, guys. Last one, though, we have is, to break down. Breakdown is not bad. I don't commonly use this as much as I use many of the other phrasal verbs here, but to break down can mean to explain something or to divide something into smaller parts. So sometimes when you're maybe watching a documentary on science or something really complicated, sometimes it's just too hard to understand, right? So somebody might say, hey, I'm going to break this down for you. I'm going to explain it in smaller pieces so that it's easier to understand, right? So the example here we have is, could you break down the professor's lecture for me? It was a real doozy. Now, if something's a doozy, it means it's just really, really confusing, right? And so if somebody says, could you break this down for me? They're like, hey, could you explain this in an easier way, right? But breakdown also has a different meaning, right? Yeah, if you put breakdown together and you said he had a breakdown or she had an emotional breakdown, John had a physical breakdown or something like that, it can have a meaning that is more negative, obviously, like something breaks. If your computer breaks down, it means your computer is broken, right? It doesn't mean that your computer is breaking things into smaller pieces to make it easier to understand, right? Or if the TV breaks down, the TV is no longer working, right? Or if your friend John has a mental breakdown, maybe John had too much stress recently and now he's taking time off of work because he's too stressed out, right? But if you say, as a question, could you please break this or break that down for me? What you're basically saying is, could you please explain this or explain that in an easier way? So anytime something's hard to understand, you don't understand the speaker, you could always ask them, hey, could you break that down again, please? Like in an easier way. I had a hard time understanding. Okay, guys, but those are our 15 phrasal verbs. Actually, this is an awesome list because honestly, usually when we go over these lists, I think about half of the terms are not very useful. But in this case, I'd say like 75% or higher are useful. So going back to the front side though, cold call, not bad, not terribly useful, but sort out is great, run out is great, close down is pretty good, call back is really great, drop in, pretty good, follow up, pretty good, note down, not bad, break into, pretty good, find out, great, cut down, great, cut out, great, look into, great, deal with, great, break down, yeah, pretty good. All right, guys, so a very, very useful list of phrasal verbs. If you didn't completely understand this, please review this later because these ones are really, really good, actually. This is like the most useful thing today. Of course, modals are also really useful, but anyhow. Okay, guys, now we also have that other list of vocabulary expressions and phrases. It says here the shopping vocab, expression, and phrases. We need to take a look at this as well. This list is too extensive. It's a little bit too long. If we ran through everything here, it would simply take me too long, but let's get started on this, and this will probably go into the third class. I'm going to see how much we can do of this without really hurting the information that I need to give you guys in the third class. So let's see how it goes. All right. So first term we have here on our shopping vocab expressions and phrases list is bargain hunting, right? Now, whenever you think of hunting, you imagine somebody with a gun in the forest, you know, trying to kill a moose or a deer or a bear or whatever, right? You know, they're hunting in the forest. Bargain hunters are similar. They are hunting, right? But they are hunting bargains. They are hunting good deals, right? Many of us out here in Canada or Korea or Japan or whatever country, we are bargain hunters. We're looking for the best deal, the cheapest price for some product. So bargain hunting means to spend time in the shops looking for items to buy at the lowest price. Now, it doesn't mean just in a shop, right? It could also just mean online. You're looking online, you're trying to find the best deal for this product, right? So the example we have here is during the sales, I go bargain hunting with my friends, right? This is something that we often do in different countries when we have extra time and we want to get a product at a cheaper price. We go bargain hunting. Best time to go bargain hunting in Canada. There are 2 points in the year. One of them is Black Friday, which didn't really exist until about 5 years ago in Canada because the Canadian companies kind of copied the American companies. So Black Friday is technically, I think, on the 3rd Friday of November, right? So if you're in Canada, wait and you want to buy a lot of clothes, you want to buy electronics, whatever it is, wait until the 3rd Friday of November. Lots of great deals. The other good time to go bargain hunting, of course, is the day after Christmas. That's called Boxing Day. Now, when I was a kid, I thought, wow, Boxing Day, that sounds fun. It's when everybody goes outside and punches each other in the face. No, Boxing Day is a really, really huge sale in Canada. You can get really good deals. So anyhow, bargain hunting. I'm not going to write an example here, but it is a pretty good term. And if you're somebody who likes doing this, you are a bargain hunter, right? Okay, next term we have here is to do the shopping. Do the shopping just means to go shopping regularly to buy food and other necessities. Okay, so that's just your regular grocery shopping. So if you're married or, I don't know, in a committed relationship, probably you or your wife does the shopping. One of you does kind of the weekly shopping on a regular basis, right? So in your relationship, who does the shopping? Is it you, or is it your wife or girlfriend, boyfriend, husband? Or do you do the shopping together? Usually if you don't have kids, you do the shopping together, right? Because it's like a event, right? You and your wife or girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, you go shopping together and you go to the grocery store, and if you're a woman, you're like really interested in finding the best price and all this kind of stuff, and your husband or boyfriend is falling behind you and they're like, oh, just kill me now, this is so terrible, right? Or your wife drags you to some kind of clothing store, right? And usually you, if you're a guy, are just like, oh my God, this is so boring, right? But thankfully you have a smartphone so you can read the news. But anyhow, what am I talking about? Yeah, anyhow, do the shopping. Not a bad term. It's just regular shopping that you do on a weekly basis, right? Usually when it comes to my relationship with my wife and my family, my wife does the shopping more than I do. Because she's just better at that. But of course now, because we got another kid, we're incredibly busy. She has to stay at home most of the time, so I do the shopping these days. Anyhow, next term is go shopping. We already know what go shopping means, so skip. Let's take a look at fitting room. Okay, what is the fitting room? Every clothing store has a fitting room. Fitting room is that room you can go in to test or to try out new clothes, right? So you found some cool shirt, but you're not sure how it looks on you. So you go to the fitting room and you try it on. And that's all it means. It's actually pretty simple. So useful term, but I don't need to make an example of that. Okay, next term we have is I can't afford it. It's unaffordable for me. If you can't afford it, it means you can't buy it, right? Not having enough money to buy something, right? I love that jacket, but I can't afford it, right? Now, yeah, there's a lot of things that every one of us would really like to have. We all want that new car or all those new clothes from, I can't remember the name of that clothing store, Spanish one. And H&M, no, that's Swedish, and H&M's kind of bleh. What is that Spanish one that's like pretty good quality? Yeah, it's really bothering me. Well, it doesn't really matter. Anyhow, yeah, I'd like to have a really cool, real leather jacket, but I can't afford it right now, right? Actually, I could afford it, but it would be stupid for me to buy it. So basically, I can't afford it. Okay, then we have in stock, out of stock. So this is a business-related term, to be available or unavailable in a shop or store. Maybe you're interested in buying this item at this store. So you go there and you're like, hey, do you have any more of those new pants? But the sales representative says, hey, sorry, we're out of stock, right? We don't have any more of that item, right? Or maybe the sales rep says, yeah, they're in stock. Do you want to try one on in the fitting room? And you're like, yeah, great. Okay, so in stock, out of stock, just means it's there or it's not there. Next term we have is it costs a fortune. Ooh, good, this is a good one. If something costs a fortune, it's just very, very expensive, because a fortune is a lot of money, right? So yeah, the example here is, look at the price of that bag. It costs a fortune, right? Maybe the person's in the Gucci store or the Louis Vuitton store, and they're like, oh my God, look at that bag. It costs a fortune. It's like $2,000 for a bag. How could a bag be $2,000 when I could go to Safeway and I only pay 5 cents for a bag? Right? It's plastic, but it's okay. Right? Okay, bad joke. Anyhow, yes, costs a fortune. And that is related to the next one, which I actually prefer. Whenever I really want to exaggerate that something is very, very expensive, I usually say something or it costs an arm and a leg. And that just means it costs a lot of money, it's very expensive. But the kind of the meaning behind this is that the item is so expensive that you should cut off your arm and cut off your leg and pay for that item with your arm and a leg. So that just means it's so expensive, you need to remove body parts in order to pay for it. So the example here is, the diamond engagement ring cost an arm and a leg. Oh, and I'm sure it did. Engagement rings are very expensive, right? Of course. I think the rule, which is really BS, there's like this dumb rule or idea that exists in Canada and the United States, and maybe also your country. Actually, I'm sure this exists in Korea too, but they always say for a guy, when you're getting the engagement ring, when you want to propose to your girlfriend because you want to marry her, you should spend 3 months worth of your salary on that ring. So if you make $4,000 a month, you should go get an engagement ring that costs $12,000. Ugh, doesn't that sound ridiculous? That's too pricey. That costs an arm and a leg, right? Anyhow, so next term is also about the cost of an item, but this case is the exact opposite. If you say something's a steal, wow, that car is a steal. That pair of jeans is a steal. That means it's so cheap that it's almost like free. It's like you're stealing this thing because it's so cheap, right? Maybe it's during a sale or something. So yeah, so cheap that it's almost as if you haven't paid anything for it. Awesome, right? Everybody likes a steal, right? Everybody likes to find an item that they think is good at a very low price, right? So the example here is, at that price, it's a steal. You won't find one cheaper in any other shop or any other store, right? I'm trying to imagine or think of like any time recently where I thought like, wow, this product is super cheap, it's a steal. No, I can't think of anything. But people out there who are bargain hunters, sometimes bargain hunters do find steals. Like, I think that's kind of like one of my wife's hobbies is like looking for like cheap deals on, I don't know, certain items or things. So she likes to go on, I don't know, like Amazon or, I don't know, secondhand shops like Craigslist, and she's like, whoa, I found a vacuum for $20 from some guy in Burnaby. Wow, it's such a steal. But then I always have to tell her like, well, remember, it is secondhand. And if he's selling it at $20, probably something wrong with it. But I don't know, she could be right. It could be really good, right? Anyhow, so yeah, if you say, on one hand, if you say cost a fortune or cost an arm and a leg, this item is very expensive. On the other hand, if you say that item is a steal, is really, really cheap. So moving on, guys, we have it is good value for money. This is a good expression. It is good value for money. It doesn't mean that it is cheap or expensive. The meaning of it is just like this is worth your money. Like this item is a good usable product. And the amount of money that they're charging for it is not super expensive, and it's not maybe super cheap, but the value is good, right? So yeah, the example here just says, the quality is excellent, so it's good value for money. I'm just trying to think of a good example. Yeah, one time my wife and I were in Paris. Yeah, we went to some kind of footwear store, and I found a really good pair of nice shoes for 100 euro, which is kind of for the shoes it wasn't expensive, but like 100 euros is maybe like 180, $190 Canadian. So like, you know, it's not like cheap or anything, but the product was made in France. So, and it looked high quality. So I thought, wow, like this good value for money. And I was right. I bought them, and they're really good shoes for about 3 years, and then they broke. That's sad, right? So anyhow, I should get them fixed. After that, we have a price tag. What is the price tag? Price tag is just the label that shows the price for a certain product, right? Before you try on anything, you should always check the price tag, because if you look at it and you think, oh my God, this is really too expensive, you know, you're probably not going to buy it, right? We always check the price tag when we're shopping, right? So, you know, it's a useful term, but whatever. Okay, next term is receipt. Of course, a receipt is that piece of paper you receive after you have paid for an article. It's basically proof that you have paid for this and proof that you paid this amount. Of course, you get a receipt also in a restaurant. You should always check the receipt, especially when you're in a restaurant like in Vancouver, because sometimes if you look at the receipt, sometimes restaurants can be a little bit tricky, right? And on the receipt, you'll see the price for the different food items you bought and then the taxes. But then sometimes you'll notice like something for gratuity, charge for gratuity, and that means like this kind of automatic tip charge that some restaurants do in Vancouver, especially if you're there with a large party of people. If they include gratuity, that means by paying the bill, you are already tipping them, right? But a lot of people make a mistake here then in that they don't look at the bill closely enough, they pay the bill, and then they pay a tip. So essentially, they're tipping the servers 2 times over, and that really sucks for the customer. So you have to be careful in Canada or the States. Yeah, always look to see if they included gratuity, do not pay a tip. If they didn't, then you pay your regular tip. And tips in Vancouver and Canada are kind of expensive now. I don't even know. I think like even above 15% is considered normal now. When I was younger, I thought the regular tip was like 5%, and then it became 10%, and I thought, yeah, that's okay. Now it's like, I don't know, I think it's like above 15. And if you have really good food, somebody's gonna pressure you like, oh, you should pay 20% or 25%. Like, oh my God, really? Anyhow, I guess I'm just being cheap. Let's move on. Let's take a look at refund, right? Now, if we buy a product and it doesn't work, of course, we're gonna want a refund. We want our money back, and that's what a refund is money paid back to a customer who is not satisfied with an article or item purchased. You must produce the receipt if you want to get a refund. So yeah, in a lot of cases, you have to show the receipt, because that is evidence or proof that you bought this product originally if you want a refund, right? Whenever we buy a bad product, of course, we want a refund. I don't think I've gotten many refunds in my lifetime, but whatever. And then we have summer or winter sales. This is not a complicated term. A summer sale is just a sale that's done in the summer. A winter sale is a sale done in the winter. So let's skip on to shop around. Shop around is a good term. This is a phrasal verb, obviously. To shop around just means to go to many different shops trying to buy an item, right? So yeah, visit a number of shops selling similar articles in order to compare the prices. So it's kind of related to bargain hunting, right? Because you're going to multiple stores looking for a certain item and you're comparing prices. Again, my wife is a bargain hunter. She loves bargain hunting and she likes to shop around. After that, we have a shop assistant. So this is just a term for the employee working in a shop, right? If you're an employee at Gap, you are a shop assistant, right? A person who serves customers in a shop. And I always think it's very interesting because, like, of course, cultures are different. So how people work as shop assistants in different countries is radically different, right? Because if you are shopping in Europe, now shopping in Europe, well, there are pros and cons everywhere, right? Many places in Western Europe, like Paris, like the quality of the products or whatever is really excellent. Like it's pretty damn good, especially for clothing or footwear or something like that. But the shop assistants, like customer service in Europe is actually very poor. People are not friendly, they're not nice. It's not the same as shopping in Canada or the States where people are like, hey, how you doing? Can I help you? What are you looking for today, dude? Right? Whereas in the States, I think shop assistants are a little bit more aggressive. But when I lived in Korea, well, it's hard for me to say because I was a foreigner, of course, when I was living in Korea. And I think people were like a little bit afraid of me because like, whoa, he speaks English probably, I don't know how to deal with him. But yeah, Korean people in stores, shop assistants could be like, I thought like even more helpful than in Canada or America, and it was like too much, like it's too helpful, right? Because that wasn't what I was used to. Or in Japan, like, oh my God, like too nice and too helpful. And it's just like, yeah, like stay away from me, right? Like when my mother came to Japan for my wedding, we checked her into a hotel, and the hotel staff took my mom to the room, and then they explained to my mom how to use everything in the room. In English, actually, they had like a, I don't know, some kind of written document in English that they could read. So they told her how to use the TV, how to use the remote, how to use the coffee maker, how to use the microwave, how to use the shower, how to use this, how to use that. And after they were done, we thought like, wow, they're so polite. But my mom was like, oh my God, that's like TMI. That's like too much information. And it's like just, it's too nice. It's so nice that I feel bad, right? Anyhow, I like those cultural differences. I think they're really interesting. But yeah, if you go shopping in Europe, wow, customer service there really sucks. Products are great though. But anyhow, shop till you drop. Shop till you drop is kind of like a fun term. Let's shop till we drop. The meaning is like, let's go shopping for a really long time until we are totally exhausted and die, right? Now, it doesn't actually mean like we're really gonna die, but you know, like on a day like Boxing Day or Black Friday, I know, especially women more than men, they get kind of excited. Some men though, of course, they get really excited about shopping. So they're like, yeah, let's shop till we drop. Let's shop until we're totally exhausted and we pass out on the floor, right? So if you go to London with Ashley, you'll shop till you drop. So take comfortable shoes, right? Because Ashley will want to shop a lot. Fun term. I don't use it very much because I don't like shopping that much. But anyhow, next term we have is a shopaholic. Now we know when holic is connected to something, it means a person is addicted to something, right? Now you can't just add holic to anything. I think a lot of students misunderstand that, and they say like, oh, he's a drugaholic or he's a pizzaholic or something like that. We don't add it to just anything that you're addicted to. It's just, you know, alcoholic, obviously, someone who drinks too much alcohol and they're addicted to it, and that's bad. And shopaholic. I'm trying to think, are there other holics? Yeah, you can add it to caffeine holic, but I don't usually say that. I usually just say I am addicted to caffeine, right? But if you're a shopaholic, yeah, you love shopping so much that it's like an addiction. You like it too much. It's having a negative effect at this point, right? You're spending too much money. So Sophie's favorite pastime is shopping. She is a complete shopaholic. Oh my God, Sophie needs help. She should go to some kind of rehabilitation clinic. Anyhow, guys, we still have one more sheet to take a look at. So what we'll do, guys, is we are going to take a break because it's about 11:50 or almost right now. We'll take a break. We'll look at the rest of this here. We'll talk about your assignment, and then I'll do some modeling for your assignment. So Let's take a break. I will see you again in 10 minutes. Everybody, welcome back to Live PST. So this is our third class for today. Of course, we're going to be finishing off that list of vocab and expressions here. So let's finish that off, and then after that, we're going to talk about your assignment for this week, right? Or at least your writing assignment for Wednesday. So anyhow, back to the list here, guys. Next term we had was shopping spree. So shopping spree, again, this just kind of means to enjoy a lively outing, usually with much spending of money, right? So that means you just kind of go outside, you go shopping, and you spend a lot of money in different places, right? Now, to use this is not a phrasal verb, right? We say to go on a shopping spree. So that's kind of an important part with this one here. So you have to say to go on a shopping spree. So to go shopping at many different places and to spend a lot of money, right? So if I said I went on a shopping spree yesterday, what you could understand is that I went to many stores and I spent a lot of money, right? Now, honestly, this is not a term that I often use because, again, I don't really like shopping all that much. But I think maybe, well, I don't want to generalize between men and women, but I think women tend to like shopping more than men. May or may not be true, not exactly sure. So maybe women would like to go on a shopping spree. And we have here, Lisa is planning to go on a shopping spree as soon as she gets her bonus. So maybe she gets a yearly bonus of $2,000, right? And she plans to just go out shopping and spend all the money, right? Next term we have here is shopping therapy. This is an interesting term, actually. I don't use this very much, but the idea that buying things can make you feel better. I think a lot of people actually do believe, and I think this is like, there's some truth to it, that there is such a thing as shopping therapy. Like you go out, you buy some new article of clothing, and it makes you feel better, right? You're like, okay, awesome, I got this new pair of shoes or this new hat or whatever, and that makes you feel better. So anyhow, a little shopping therapy can usually cheer up bored teenagers or bored women or men in their 20s or 30s, right? But again, I don't really use this too much because I don't know, I just don't go shopping that often, and it doesn't really make me feel better. If anything, it makes me feel worse because I'm like, ugh, maybe I spent money unnecessarily. I should have waited for a sale. Anyhow, next term we have here is to spend money. This is just too easy, right? Spend money means use money to purchase an article or a service. We spend a lot of money on excursions during our trip, of course, right? Or we spent a lot of money. I spend a lot of money on coffee. Yeah, that's kind of true. We all spend a lot of money on groceries, and I spend a lot of money on rent, for example. Okay, next term we have here is to splash out on something. And to splash out on something means to buy something even though it costs a lot of money. When he got a promotion, Andy splashed out on a brand new car, right? I would like to splash out on a brand new car as well. So again, splash out on something just means spend a lot of money on something. It's not too bad. I don't use this so much either, but let's take a look at our next term. We have to take something back. If you want to take something back, it means you want to return an item to a store and probably get a refund, right? So you'll need your receipt. So if you're like, oh, this product doesn't work like it says, or it doesn't fit me or something like that, you need to find your receipt so that you can get the refund, and then you will take that item back to the store. Anyhow, let's move on, guys. Next term is more useful. That's a bargain. If you say that's a bargain, you're just saying that is much cheaper than I thought, right? That's a cheap item, so it's a good deal. If that's a bargain, it's a good deal. Said when an article is well below the usual price. So that handbag goes beautifully with that dress or the dress. And at that price, it's a bargain, right? That's a bargain, it's a bargain. I'm trying to imagine when I used this last. This is a term I do use sometimes if I think something is really cheap. So on like one hand, if I'm shopping and I think this item is very expensive, I'll say like, wow, that costs an arm and a leg, or that's outrageously expensive. But on the other hand, if something is really cheap, I'll say, wow, that's a bargain. We should buy it. Like, it's a really good deal, right? Okay, next term we have is, that's a bit pricey. So pricey is a synonym for expensive, right? I do use the term pricey a lot. And if you say that's a bit pricey, it just means it's a bit expensive. Not terribly expensive, or outrageously expensive, but it is pricey, right? Their clothes are a bit pricey, but they have a wonderful selection, right? I'm trying to think of a place. Yeah, that's the name of the store I kept thinking about earlier. Zara, the Spanish clothing store. So Zara can be a bit expensive, but the quality is usually maybe decent or like pretty good. Actually, I don't really know. But I had a jacket from them a long time ago, and it was pretty good. So I thought it was worth the money. But it is a bit pricey, but it was worth it, right? Okay, so yeah, that's a bit pricey. Pretty commonly used expression. I do use that a lot. Like, that item is, not terribly expensive, but more expensive than I had thought, right? It's a bit pricey. Now, on the other hand, if we say something is dirt cheap, it's so cheap that it's like dirt, right? And the cost of dirt would be like almost nothing. So yeah, it costs very little. The example here is pretty good. 80% off, that's incredible. It's dirt cheap at that price. So again, it's a bargain, right? Maybe even more than a bargain. It's so cheap that it's like dirt, right? I'm trying to think, what is dirt cheap in Canada? Almost nothing. Everything is really kind of expensive here, quite pricey. One of the cheap things about living in Vancouver, and there are not many, is actually the cost of electricity and hot water. So if you're living here and it's not included in the price of your rent or whatever, you will have to pay your BC Hydro bill. And that is your bill for electricity and hot water. And that's like the only thing that's really cheap here is electricity and water. I would say it's dirt cheap. Like, I don't know, in an average month, you will probably only spend about $30 on electricity and hot water. And I know in other countries it can be quite a bit more expensive. Like, I think my wife told me, like, generally in Japan, like, even if you're in a one-bedroom by yourself, usually she would pay, I think she said between $70 to $100 for electricity every month. And I thought, wow, that's like pretty expensive. That is definitely not dirt cheap, because in Vancouver, electricity is dirt cheap. Okay, next term. Oh, this is a really excellent one. I do use this a lot. It is rip off, right? If we say something is a rip off, that's a rip off. It means it's way more expensive than it should be. And not just that, if something is a rip off, you're gonna feel like they're trying to cheat you. They're charging you so much that they're actually cheating you, right? Now, rip off can be a noun, like it is used here, but it could also be a verb. Our example sentence here is $10 for an orange juice. That's a rip-off. Like, it's way too expensive, right? But if you use rip off as a verb, so rip off is also a verb. And the meaning of rip off as a verb means to cheat somebody in regards to money. It's like you're charging too much, right? If you think this person is trying to cheat you, right? You'd say, he is trying to rip me off. Or maybe you say to that person directly, you say, hey, don't try to rip me off. I know that you're trying to rip me off. I won't be ripped off because the price you're charging for that, it's a rip-off, right? So rip-off is fairly commonly used. I do use this a lot, right? And you always have to be careful when you use second-hand stores, right? Or websites where people are selling used products, because a lot of people, like the most maybe commonly used site in Canada or the United States is Craigslist. And a lot of people are just honest, like they're trying to get rid of their old couch, their old TV, whatever, and they are trying to charge a reasonable price for it. Or maybe it's a bargain, maybe it's really cheap. but other people are trying to rip people off, right? So you have to be careful. Last term we have here, guys, is window shopping, right? Now, window shopping could mean that you are shopping for windows. You want to buy a window, right? So that's one meaning. But the actual meaning of window shopping is just kind of like walking by stores, looking in through the window and looking at the price of different products. So it says, look at things and shop windows without actually purchasing anything, right? So window shopping is just like when you go shopping somewhere, but you don't intend to spend money. You're just maybe killing time. Maybe you like comparing the prices of certain products, right? I think a lot of, again, I'm generalizing, but I think a lot of women tend to like window shopping more than men do. But anyhow, I haven't been paid yet, so I can only go window shopping, right? This person did not receive their money yet, so they're going to go shopping, but they're just going to look at things. They don't intend to purchase anything. All right, guys, so that was actually a really good list of so many useful terms, and there were so many other terms that we looked at previously. When it comes to your assignment for this week, it would be a good idea to try to use those terms when you are doing your writing assignment. But anyhow, all right, guys, so let's finally move on and talk about what your assignment actually is for Wednesday. And this is the theme that we will be following all week. So please take a look at the sheet of paper or the document that says Global College Assignment, Sales Pitch. Okay, now even before we get into this, like I said before, sales pitch. A pitch, when you think about it, like in baseball, right? The pitcher is the guy or woman who throws the ball, right? And they try to throw it as quickly as possible so that the batter can't hit it. But a sales pitch is like a sales presentation. When somebody is trying to sell a product, so they want to make that product sound really good. They want the price to sound attractive for that product, right? If you want to see some really great example sales pitch, all you have to do is stay up late, right? Stay up late at night, around midnight or early in the morning, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. If you're watching TV on cable, you will see lots of infomercials, right? And infomercials are those commercials where somebody's trying really hard to sell you a product, and they're always like, it's only $19.95, $19.95, $19.95. It's a bargain. You need to buy now. You need to buy today. But wait, if you buy it now, you'll also get this for free, you know, blah, blah, blah. But those guys are good at making a sales pitch, right? They're trying to sell you a product. And sometimes those sales pitches are really funny. Or if you're really, really interested, I always recommend checking out well, there's a Canadian version and also an American version. I can't remember which one is which, but there's this really awesome TV show about sales pitch where there will be 5 businessmen and women, and they will be judging someone who has an idea for a product or a store or a service, and they will come in and they will make their pitch to these business executives. And if the business executives think, hey, this is a good idea, they will invest money in that company, right? And the name of that TV show in Canada is Dragon's Den. And in America, it is, I believe, Shark's Tank. I think there's also a British version and probably also an Australian version as well. But Dragon's Den and Shark's Tank is actually like a really good TV show if you're interested in business. It's kind of like reality TV in that everything is real. Like these people are trying to sell the idea of their business in order to get some kind of investment or some kind of help from these top-level businessmen in Canada or in the United States. And yeah, it's just really, really interesting. And sometimes the sales pitches are really, really well done. Other times, the sales pitch is a total bomb, a total failure, but it's still kind of entertaining. Sometimes it can be mean, though. Sometimes the executives on Dragon's Den or Shark's Tank can be a little bit mean, but it's useful if you are interested in being a businessman, right? Anyhow, so let's read about the sales pitch assignment. It says, this week, you are tasked with promoting or pitching a common product of your choice that already exists. You must use the language of advertising and various modal verbs to describe the product and explain why it is so special and necessary. So basically for this assignment, you need to imagine that you are a businessman. And I think a good thing to imagine here is maybe think of a product from your country that you think should be sold in Canada and the United States. Maybe you think this product is not sold here, right? Maybe it isn't. And your company or your service, you want to break into the Canadian or American market, right? So you need to pitch this product to potential customers, right? So it says, as mentioned above, the grammar focus is modal verbs. For example, you can say, with this product, you can do anything. You must have this. It will change your life. At this price, it's a bargain. This is not going to cost you an arm and a leg. You must do this. You have to get this product. But if you call now, you will save $20, blah, 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 right? So you want to use a lot of language related to sales and marketing, right? A lot of the language that we just covered, right? Don't be a window shopper. Get this product today. At this price, it's a bargain, right? It's dirt cheap, blah, blah, blah. Also, of course, you need to use modal verbs as much as possible, right? You should do this. You have to do this. You must do this. You mustn't do that, right? Anyhow, it says your sales pitch must be between 4 to 5 paragraphs and include at least 5 modal verbs. So the requirements here are not so hard. If you imagine writing 5 paragraphs, you only need to use 1 modal verb in each paragraph, right? You must also implement at least 10 adjectives to make your product sound even more appealing, right? Now, I would like to actually modify that just a little bit. But you must use 10 expressions or vocab. It doesn't just have to be the adverbs, though. Or sorry, not just the adjectives, but any of those terms that we looked at previously. Try to use at least 10 of them. Now, within your writing, you should say, what the product is. So you need to describe the product, how it is used, why it is useful, and why it is the best product in the world. Now you could probably combine 2 of those into one. Like, as usual with your writing assignments on Monday, I try to recommend writing 5 paragraphs. Write an introductory paragraph, body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, body paragraph 3, and then finally, of course, your conclusion. I think a good idea here would be have your introductory paragraph where you briefly explain what this product is. In the second, or in your body paragraph, describe in more detail what the product is and how it's used. The next paragraph, body paragraph 2, I would write about why it's so useful or why it's better than the competition. Body paragraph 3, maybe talk about why it's the best product in its class, talk about price, that kind of stuff. And then your final paragraph, you've got your conclusion, kind of wrap up all the good things that you've said about this product and sell it even further, right? Maybe put a sense of urgency in there. You have to buy this now, there's a limited time offer, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, this assignment is due this Wednesday before the start of class, so you guys got a fair amount of time. You've got this afternoon, you've got tomorrow, and then you can submit this on Wednesday. Anyhow, guys, what I should do is help you guys out a little bit more. What we're going to do, guys, is take a look at, now it says slap shop, but this should say slap chop. Anyhow, This is an example of an infomercial, one of the most famous infomercials in Canada and the United States for this product, which is related to cooking. What we're going to do is we're going to read over this, and you're going to think about it, and then you could try to incorporate this into your own writing. And then after this, I will give you guys an idea of how I would write my own 5-paragraph assignment for this here. So anyhow, everybody, please turn to this one here. It says transcript, slap, chop. Not shop, actually, C-H-O-P. If you want to watch the actual clip of this, go to the YouTube link at the top. It's actually really, really funny. I think it's funny. Now, keep in mind, this guy is a salesman. He is, and this is taken from an infomercial. So it's actually really funny. Let me read over this with you guys. I think it's pretty good. So the guy's name is Vince. He says, "You're going to be in a great mood all day because you're going to be slapping your troubles away with a slap chop. Now, look, here's a potato. 1 slap, you got big chunks for stew. 2 slaps, home fries in a second. And look at this when you add a mushroom. The more you do it, the finer it gets. You don't have to switch any blades. Now, you love salad, you hate making it. You know you hate making salads. That's why you don't have any salad in your diet. Watch this 1 slap, salad. I love pizza too, but once in a while, get the veggies in. At least throw it in on top of the pizza. You're going to change your eating habits. Soup, coleslaw, stuff we want. 5 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds, it's done. This tuna looks boring. Stop having a boring tuna. Stop having a boring life. Add this tuna, putting it in like this now, you're going to have a nice tuna salad. Look at this, you're going to have an exciting life now. Okay. Look, here's a hard-boiled egg. 1 chop, you add the pickle, you add the green onion, and what you can do is mix things together. Add the ham, and you're going to love this. You don't have to make breakfast to go. You're going to love my nuts. Watch this, almonds, walnuts. Comes with a cover, so you can do everything in the cover. All right, or you can do it on the board, whatever you like. So easy, 1 finger. If I can do it with 1 finger, you guys can do it with your whole hand. Kids can do it too. You know what they charge at the ice cream store? $1 for toppings at the ice cream store. Add a couple of cookies if you want, so you can make it for 10 cents. Stop throwing your money away. You know, not only nuts, but what about fruit? Put a mango. Look at this. Isn't it beautiful on your ice cream? And anyhow, this guy, Vince, he is, kind of a master at infomercials and making sales pitches for generally bad products. Actually, this infomercial was really popular, I think about 10 years ago. And I saw this infomercial so many times, and every time I saw it, I would just laugh because I'm like, it's really ridiculous. But actually, my older brother at the time, he was really into cooking, and he was cooking a lot. So I thought for his birthday, why not buy him a slap chop? So a slap chop is just this item that cuts up vegetables, and you just kind of slap it. So you put whatever vegetable or whatever you want down on a board, you put this on top and you slap it, and it cuts things up really nice. And it looked like kind of useful. So for a birthday present, I bought this for him. It was relatively cheap, I think 25, 30 bucks, something like that. And he used it twice. The first time he used it, he said, hey, it's not bad. It actually kind of works. Second time, he was slapping, I think, a potato because he wanted to chop up some potatoes, and then the slap chop broke. And then actually we couldn't return it and get a refund. So I was very disappointed in Vince, but anyhow. All right, guys, so what I think, though, is the best way to approach this, like I said before, is kind of the 5-paragraph method. Introduction, body paragraph 1, 2, 3, conclusion, right? Now, my intro, now always keep in mind, when you're making an introduction is going to be your shortest, or generally your shortest paragraph, right? I think if you're trying to sell a product, it might be a good idea to actually start with some questions, and then throughout your assignment, answer those questions, right? So my introduction might be like this. Do you have Do you have a boring life? Do you have a boring life? Do you wish actually, I'm going to change this. Don't you wish you could spice up your life? Are you looking for a sauce that could make your life more exciting and flavorful? So I'm starting with questions, right? Now, of course, these questions are kind of an exaggeration. It's just kind of a joke, right? But it's to get this started, right? Do you have a boring life? Don't you wish you could spice up your life? Are you looking for a sauce that could make your life more exciting and more flavorful? Well, your prayers have been answered because today we have a limited time offer for the world's greatest new hot sauce. Actually, I'm probably going to spell this wrong. Sriracha. Sriracha. Now, of course, Sriracha is not really a new product, but Sriracha is the product I've decided on promoting for this year. So remember, I think when you are first starting this, of course, the very first step is you need to think of what product or what service you're going to be trying to sell, right? Now, I didn't put a lot of thought into mine, but I don't know. If you go into my refrigerator at home, you'll always find a bottle of Sriracha. My wife and I like hot sauce, and we specifically like this hot sauce here, which is maybe Vietnamese. It's a Vietnamese kind of hot sauce, but actually it's manufactured in the United States by, I think, a pretty famous Vietnamese American businessman. Sriracha, anyhow, it's really good stuff if you like hot sauce. Not so oily or vinegary like most American hot sauces, more of a pasty kind of hot sauce. Probably Korean people either know or would like Sriracha. Japanese people, I don't know, might be a little bit too spicy for you guys. Not sure about Brazilians, but I'm pretty sure Mexican people would probably like this too. Anyhow, I should probably shut up. I don't really know those things. Anyhow, so it's a good idea to start with questions first, right? Do you have a boring life? Don't you wish you could spice up your life? Well, of course, I want to spice up my life. Are you looking for a sauce that could make your life more exciting, more flavorful? Well, your prayers have been answered because today we have a limited time offer. Wow, limited time offer. So I'm using one of those expressions for the world's greatest new hot sauce, Sriracha. Okay. So I've introduced the product by asking some questions. I've mentioned the name of the product. In body paragraph 1, and I'm going to write here BP1, I think it would be a good idea to explain more about this product, right? What is Sriracha? Okay, so Sriracha is the newest, the coolest, the most spectacular new hot sauce on the, I don't know, let's imagine I'm promoting this in the United States, right? New hot sauce, the most spectacular new hot sauce on, wait, 1 second. The Sriracha is the newest, the coolest, the most spectacular new hot sauce, not on, in the American market. Okay. Now, you want to make it sound cool, right? It comes from an ancient Vietnamese recipe developed by legendary Vietnamese cook Pan Trong Nguyen. Now, actually, I just made that name up. I don't know if that's a real person, but I'm pretty sure that's a Vietnamese-sounding name, Pan Truong Nguyen. If you're Vietnamese, I'm sorry if I got the name wrong. Anyhow, so it comes from an ancient Vietnamese recipe developed by legendary Vietnamese cook Pan Truong Nguyen. You must try this new sauce. It has the best chilies, the best herbs. So I think, guys, in your second paragraph, you want to describe your product, which in my case is a hot sauce, in much more detail, right? Now, sorry about my writing. I know it looks pretty messy, but so I'm describing Sriracha in more detail, right? Sriracha is the newest, the coolest, the most spectacular new hot sauce in the American market. Wow. It comes from an ancient Vietnamese recipe developed by legendary, right? This guy's a legend. Legendary Vietnamese cook. Actually, I should have said chef. Chef is more proper. It makes him sound more professional. Pan Truong Nguyen. You must try this new sauce. It has the best chilies, the best herbs, the best level of spice. It's hot, but it's not too hot. It won't kill you, right? So actually, honestly, I'd probably continue onwards with body paragraph 1 a little bit more. What you guys should be doing with your product is, like, you know, pick a product that you know and you like, right? And that you think doesn't exist in Canada or America, and then you're introducing it to us, to this new market. Now, what you need to do, though, is, you know, maybe you're not 100% familiar with this product. You should probably do a little bit of research on the product, right? If it's a food product, find out, like, what is actually in this product, right? What is in the sauce or this food or whatever, right? If it is electronic, look into the electronic. What does it actually do for you, right? So anyhow, I said that there's, you know, it has the best chilies or the best herbs. I don't know if that's exactly true. But with any kind of sales pitch, you have to exaggerate things, right? And, you know, you should do some research into this product that you are selling, right? And in body paragraph 1, describe it in as much detail as you can and use the information that you have found out, right? And explain that in body paragraph 1. Okay, so I got my introduction done and I got my first body paragraph done. After that, of course, you move on to body paragraph 2. So let me just erase this here, guys. Actually, I'm going to erase this as well. This is kind of annoying. So in body paragraph 2, you probably want to talk about how you can use this product, right? And remember, you want to try to use some of the terms that we looked at today. So it's a good idea to keep those lists on you. So actually, I'm going to grab one of the lists and make sure that I can kind of incorporate some of those terms into my writing. And something just fell down, but I'm not sure what that was. Okay, so actually, especially this list here, the top 20 print media verbs in order of efficacy, and the top 20 media adjectives in order of efficacy, right? But, yeah, so we are going to describe how it's used and how useful this product is, Sriracha. So body, paragraph 2. And here, I'm going to start by using some of the adjectives. Sriracha is the freshest, most delicious, most delicious, wonderful, wonderfully spicy, and affordable hot sauce on the market. Yeah. Okay, so it's all these things, right? It's so awesome. It is also very versatile. So versatile as an adjective, well, it is an adjective. Versatile as an adjective, it kind of means like flexible, right? If something is versatile, it can be used in so many different ways, right? You can put Sriracha on anything. Wanna spice up your spaghetti? Sriracha. Wanna bring that pizza back to life? Sriracha. Wanna make those eggs taste better? You gotta put Sriracha on them. Okay guys, so obviously again, like most of this here, you're gonna be exaggerating, like this product is so awesome, you know, it's gonna change your life. So you need, or you have to, because we need to use more modals here, you have to change your life. Change it with Sriracha. Okay, again, now, like, it's okay if your writing sounds kind of silly. That's fine, because you have to keep in mind here that you're not writing a proper paragraph to a university, right? You're going to be writing something that hopefully you could read in order to sell the product. You've got to make it sound fun, sound cool, sound good, right? So, let's take a look at my body paragraph 2 so far. Sriracha is the freshest, most delicious. So I'm using a lot of adjectives here. Most delicious, wonderfully spicy, and affordable hot sauce, right? On the market. It is also very versatile. You can put Sriracha on anything. Oops. Guys, sorry about that. I should have put an exclamation mark here, not a question mark. Wanna, now, wanna is like very improper, right? Wanna is a combination of want and to. But again, don't write this like you're writing a university paper. Write this like you were trying to sell a product. So, wanna bring that pizza back, wanna spice up your spaghetti? Sriracha. Wanna bring that pizza back to life? Sriracha. Wanna make those eggs taste better? You gotta put sriracha on them. You have to change your life. Change it with sriracha. You know, da 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 da. Maybe I would write more here, maybe not, but I think that's good enough for right now. Okay, so we've talked about sriracha, what it is, and how it can be used. Now, the final body paragraph, you probably want to write about why is it the best product, why should we buy it now, right? So, body paragraph 3. Now, I don't have a lot of room here. I might have to erase, well, we'll see how this goes. We're kind of running out of time anyhow. So, why choose us over the competition? Well, because we know what real tasty hot sauce is. And okay, now again, I'm exaggerating. I don't know if this is true, but Vietnamese have been consuming hot sauce for over 5,000 years. So, we know, or so we can trust their ability to make the world's finest, most explosive hot sauce. You know, and da 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 da. We are better than the competition. The competition sucks. You know, what is the Tabasco? A lot of Americans consume Tabasco sauce when they want a hot sauce. But come on, Sriracha is way better than Tabasco, right? So maybe here you could also compare it to its competitors, right? And then again, you could go on and say things like, you know, it's a limited time offer. If you buy now, we'll sell it to you cheaper, blah, 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 right? So anyhow, that's body paragraph 3. Maybe talk about why the product is better, why it's the best. In your conclusion, of course, like any conclusion, you're kind of wrapping things up, right? Now, here, like in a lot of conclusions, it's very simple just to start the conclusion by saying, in conclusion, blah, 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 right? But here you're selling a product, and again, you want to keep in mind that this is not a university paper. You want to keep in mind that this is something that maybe somebody would read when they're selling a product to somebody, right? So instead of saying in conclusion, blah, 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 you want to make it more kind of exciting. You want to continue to exaggerate in the final paragraph, right? So maybe you could say like, you have to buy Sriracha. This is the only product that will change your life and make your life spicier, right? We're better than the competition. It's a limited time sale. If you buy now, it's $4.99. But wait, if you also buy now, we'll include a special bottle of Sriracha secret sauce, right? And that's a $2.99 value for free. Wow. So please order now before quantities run out. And there you go, something like that. Okay, so yeah, try your best with this here. Like I said, a good idea would be to go back to that adjective list, right? Go back to the top 20 media adjectives in order of efficacy. Try to use at least 10 of these, but it doesn't have to all be from this sheet here. You can also use the verbs on the other side, or if you can, try to use that list of phrasal verbs. Just keep those sheets with you or keep them on your computer and think about how you could fit them into your writing assignment here, right? So keep those around, and also keep in mind the modal verbs. Now that's actually something that I didn't really keep in mind too much when I was writing this, right? But the assignment here only asks you guys to include 5 uses of modal verbs, right? So if you're gonna write 5 paragraphs, that would just mean 1 modal verb per paragraph. Not too bad. So if I take a look at this one here, did I use one in paragraph 2? I want to make those eggs there. You gotta put an action on it. You have to. Okay, well I used have to, right? So have to was good. So that was 1. Body paragraph 3. Why choose us over the competition? Well, because we know that. So we can trust their ability to make the world's finest. Well, okay, I didn't, but maybe a good example here I could include. Oh, sorry guys, I think this got disconnected. I hope what the? Sorry guys, I think I had a problem with the microphone. I hope everybody can hear me though. Anyhow. Okay, so continuing onwards here. Let's continue. So anyhow guys, yeah, you need to try to use those adjectives and those terms as best you can. Yeah, but keep those sheets around, keep them on you, and try to use them. Okay guys, so other than that, of course, I did skip over some stuff earlier today. And yeah, so one of the things I skipped over was, yeah, so we had a small problem, guys. I think something fell on the floor. I hope you guys can still hear me. I know I'm being pretty loud. Okay. Okay. So anyhow, guys, we're almost done today's class, though. So try your best with the writing, and we'll see how it goes. Of course, tomorrow I'm actually not going to be here, but Melanie will be with you guys, and you guys will continue class. Hey, Alejandro, how's it going? Hope you're doing well, and I hope everybody's doing well, of course. And yeah, you guys will be with Melanie tomorrow. Sorry about the microphone problem. I really hope you guys didn't have trouble hearing. Yeah, never mind. Somebody's helping me out right now. Okay, but yeah, that about wraps it up for today, guys. Yeah, remember, 5 paragraphs. Try your best. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, yeah. We got it fixed. Actually, I didn't fix it. I didn't do anything. I guess I broke it. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, guys, you guys have a good day. Try your best with the assignment. See you later.